what happens is every primary day or caucus day, the Romney headquarters in Boston sends out the rumor that they believe I will withdraw, which is, of course, their greatest fantasy. I'm not going to withdraw. I'm actually pretty happy with where we are, and I think the contrast between Governor Romney and me is going to get wider and wider and clearer over the next few weeks. And so I look forward very much to opportunities to debate him, opportunities to draw the contrast, and opportunities to compete for votes. And I'll be glad to take your questions. Yes, back in there.
Mr. Speaker, have you considered also that perhaps voters just aren't buying what you're selling? I mean, you've been on the ballot now in 5 states. You've won 1, but you've lost 4. And you also talk about debates, but you've had 18 of them, and generally you've been considered to have done well in them, and still it's not showing up in the polls. Is it just people aren't buying?
It showed up pretty well in a lot of places. I'm not going to defend the outcome in a state where I was outspent 5-1. And I suggest you're sophisticated enough, you understand that the idea of taking a state where the other guy spent 5 times as much money and many of his ads were false, as described by both the Wall Street Journal and National Review, that maybe that's not a very accurate measure. When it was an entirely positive campaign, up through mid-December, I was ahead by 12 points in Gallup. It would have come back again, and I was actually ahead in Gallup about a week ago. So I think in a few more weeks I'll be ahead in Gallup again.
Isn't that just ignoring the reality of the campaign? I mean, he has gone negative, and it's working, and, you know, you're...
Right. So the reality of the campaign, to use your words, he has gone negative, and it is working. And what I'm asserting to you is, over time, I don't believe the American people will approve of a campaign which actually suppresses turnout. I think it's amazing if you go look at Florida. Every county I carried in Florida had an increased turnout. Every county Romney carried in Florida had a decreased turnout. Now that should sober every Republican in the country. If the only way Romney wins is suppressing turnout, how is he going to do that in the fall? If the only way he wins is outspending somebody 5-1, how's that going to apply to a campaign against Obama who's going to outspend him? I just suggest to you that there are underlying factors in this race, and I'm quite happy to continue campaigning, and I'm kind of mildly amazed at the news media's desperation for finding some excuse to say, wouldn't you please quit this evening?